911. Do you need...
Hello, please. Help me. I'm Amanda Berry.
You need police, fire, or ambulance?
I need police.
Okay, and what's going on there?
I've been kidnapped, and I've been missing for 10 years, and I'm here. I'm free now.
Okay, and what's your address?
2207 Seymour Avenue.
2207 Seymour. Looks like you're calling me from 2210.
Huh?
Looks like you're calling me from 2210.
I can't hear you.
It looks like you were calling me from 2210 Seymour.
Yeah, I'm across the street. I'm using the phone.
Okay, stay there with those neighbors. Talk to the police when they get there.
Okay.
Okay, talk to the police when they get there.
April 21st, 2003, 24 hours before her 17th birthday, Amanda Berry mysteriously disappeared on her way back from work at a local Burger King. Written off as a runaway by the authorities, Amanda would not be heard from again for 10 years. Thought to be dead but not forgotten, everything changed when a call suddenly brought the investigation back to life. But what happened? Where was she for 10 years? And how did one call expose a deep evil that has silently haunted Cleveland for years on end? Amanda Berry was born on April 22, 1986, and grew up in the Cleveland, Ohio area. At 16 years old, she worked at a local Burger King in her area and was beloved by many. However, her picture-perfect life would soon take a dark turn, 24 hours before her 17th birthday. On her way back from work, Amanda was stopped by a familiar face, Ariel Castro. Ariel was a local bus driver, a neighbor, and the father of one of Amanda's friends. Upon stopping Amanda, he offered her a ride to her home, an offer she accepted and would live to forever regret. As Amanda toured his house, she spotted a lady who seemed to be invested in a TV show. Curious, she asked, and Castro told her she was just a roommate who lived in his house. This was her first red flag, as the lady was actually 21-year-old Michelle Knight, who was kidnapped a year before. As they went further into the basement, Amanda soon started to notice suspicious things, like the windows being nailed and blackened.
And he asked, "Do you need a ride home?" I said, "Yes. You know, it's a friend's dad." And he's like, "Well, she's at my house. Would you like to go see her?" I said, "Yeah, sure. I haven't seen her in a while."
Curious, she asked about her friend, to which Castro said she was bathing. But soon after he replied, things took a turn for the worse. Castro would then chain her by the belly, strap a motorcycle helmet to her head, and tape her limbs together before drowning out her screams with loud music. Following the disappearance of Amanda, the community was immediately sent into shock as they rallied around her mother to search for the missing girl.
It was just really dark in there, and he told me to hold on my pants. From there I knew, like, this was not gonna be good.
Search parties were arranged and local news picked up the case, but sadly, there was no sign of the missing teen. However, things then got more confusing when a mysterious man would call Amanda's mother, Luana Miller, and tell her he had her daughter. Following the call, officers began trying to trace the call, but sadly could not pinpoint the location, as the mysterious man never used the line again. Confused, scared, and filled with hope, Luana would continue to search for her daughter, unaware that among those who claimed to help was the monster Ariel Castro, who was pretending to help with the case. In Castro's house, Amanda and McKnight underwent untold horrors as he molested and abused them almost daily, turning the two into sex slaves with no hope of escape. Stomped and unable to move forward, Amanda's case would run cold until April 2nd, 2004, a year later, when 14-year-old Gina DeJesus went missing on her way back from school. Sensing a pattern, officers finally made a connection between Amanda and Gina, and the case was renewed with vigor. Around this time, Castro had turned his entire house into a dungeon, boarding up windows, bolting down doors, and even replacing window panes with plexiglass. It was at this time that he gave each girl a room and a television to watch. During this period, Amanda would get really into the Montel show with self-proclaimed psychic Sylvia Brown. Fortunately, her prayers were answered and her mother was featured on the Montel Williams show. Sadly, it didn't go as planned, as self-proclaimed psychic Sylvia Brown informed Barry's mother, Luana Miller, that her daughter had died and was in water in November 2004. This pronouncement devastated her mother, prompting her to remove images and hand over Barry's computer. Luana would go through a period of heartbreak and depression, but ultimately she would continue to search for her daughter. Sadly, she never got to see her again, as she died early in March 2006. But the tragedy didn't end there, as during that period, Amanda became pregnant for her captor, Castro. Trapped in the house, Amanda carried the pregnancy, and on Christmas Day 2006, Castro allegedly ordered Knight to help with Barry's childbirth, which took place in a small inflatable swimming pool. He even threatened to murder her if the baby died. At some point, the baby briefly stopped breathing, but Knight was able to resuscitate her. Amanda named the baby Jocelyn and saw her as a gift from her mother, doing the best she could to protect the child and train her in her circumstances. So how did it all end? Well, Jocelyn was much more than a baby. She was a gift. See, Castro really loved his daughter and even took her out. He even took her to see his mother. She referred to him as Daddy and Castro's mother as grandmother. In 2013, he even gave one of his adult children a picture of the youngster and explained that she was his girlfriend's daughter from a prior relationship. Jocelyn had such an effect on him that he even took the chains off the kidnapped ladies because of her. So the escape. On the morning of May 6, 2013, 6 years after her daughter's birth and 10 years after her abduction, Jocelyn informed her mom that Daddy's car was gone. Upon hearing this, Amanda weighed her options and dashed for the door. By some miracle, for the first time in 10 years, the doors were open. Seeing this, Amanda smashed against the door and managed to get the attention of her neighbor, Charles Ramsey. When he saw her, he kicked a hole through the bottom of the storm door, which was barred from the outside, and Barry crawled through, holding her daughter. Ramsey claimed that Barry informed him that she and her child were being held inside the house against their choice. After being released, she proceeded to the house of another Spanish-speaking neighbor and, with Ramsey's help, called 911. In the end, Castro was arrested, and in February 2007, 977 counts were filed, including 512 for kidnapping, 446 for rape, 7 for gross sexual imposition, 6 for felonious assault, 3 for child endangerment, 2 for aggravated murder, and 1 for possession of criminal instruments. On July 26th, Castro pleaded guilty to 937 of the 977 crimes against him, including kidnapping, rape, and aggravated murder, as part of a plea bargain that asked for consecutive life sentences plus 1,000 years without parole.
I'm one person. I am just sick. I have an addiction. I simply kept them there without being able to leave.
In the end, Castro was found hanging from a bedsheet in his detention cell at the Correctional Reception Center in Orient, Ohio, on the evening of September 3rd, 2013. 1 month into his life sentence. He was 53 years old at the time of his death. Today, Amanda Berry, Gina DeJesus, and Michelle Knight are beacons of hope for survivors everywhere, proving that the human spirit can endure even the darkest of times and is doing just fine. But what do you think about the whole story? Let us know in the comments section below, and while you're at it, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button to stay up to date with all the latest true crime stories. Until next time, stay vigilant.